Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. One God, without a second. The third of the Abrahamic religions, obviously, we're going to be talking about Judaism. I did have direct contact with the practice of Judaism. I found it entirely charming. I did Rosh Hashanah one year, and even though I was the goy in the mix, I was extremely well treated. They're very hospitable in the shul. I think it's a principle. Whoever comes in is family practically. And that seemed to be something like the attitude, certainly to be tolerated. I practiced with the Reform group. There are several versions of Judaism in the modern world. The Reform group, or the Reconstructionist group, I haven't got it straight, obviously. The one that calls God the eternal. Then, as it turned out, I was interested in the entirety of the celebration and the obscure ceremonies between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur were only practiced by the ultra-Orthodox congregation in the same shul. And I went and practiced with them. And again, they were extremely cordial. I'm sure that we didn't agree about a lot of political issues, but it wasn't about that. It was about spirituality. I was totally amazed at the depth of Jewish scholarship, having connected with a little bit of that. I dipped into the Talmud. I didn't do much with the Mishnah, and did some with the Torah. I took a Hebrew class. We were reading out of Genesis, the story of Jacob. And they liked the fact that I had learned the alphabet. And I didn't mention that I had learned the Hebrew alphabet because of the Golden Dawn Tarot, which assigned one letter of the Hebrew alphabet to each of the 22 arcana, major arcana of the Tarot. So if you wanted to study the structure of Tarot, you need to have the Hebrew alphabet. In any case, we stumbled through original passages of Genesis, and those of us in the class that were at the phonetic level would simply read a passage without understanding it. And then those that had an inkling of the grammar and vocabulary would try to decipher it. So we had a good time, if you like that sort of thing. I like that sort of thing. So I was left with an ongoing good impression. There was one ceremony, I don't think it wasn't part of the ceremonies that lead up to Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And I should say, after going through all that, I really did feel atoned. It was a strong feeling of being at one with everything. Didn't last, of course, but nothing does in this world. So the one ceremony that I have in mind, minor celebration, celebrating the 10 Commandments. I forget the name of it even. And they had a panel discussion. And what impressed me was they assembled people of very different views, all of them Jews, of course, including an atheist. So you have the full spectrum of opinion. And it was a very interesting multiple dialogue. Um, the thing about the Ten Commandments is it was really just A, B, C, D, with the full meaning being not even in words, but syllables of light. And then it was up to Moses to transcribe that into human language, at least so I gather. Um, much more could be said, but apparently much more isn't said. Uh, enjoy your evening and be well. I hope that helped. Shekinah, Shekinah.